Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and today we're going to be doing a little unpackaging. This is coming from Amazon and I had to wait a whole lot longer than just 2 days. But I'm very happy that it's finally here. This was essentially a pre-order item, but I'm sure plenty of you guys have already seen this out in the wild. I've been very excited. There's a lot that I think I'm going to like about this, and there might be a couple little things that I might not be the biggest fan of, but whatever, let's get into it. The unpackaging knife is going to be what I carry today at work. This is my Devo Buzz with the rare knurled tie scales and the Zerku tie backspacer. I don't freaking know. This thing, if you know, you know, it's a masterpiece. True, genuine masterpiece that needs a new edge. Alrighty, we have another Remette knife, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into this. Typical box, nice little nylon pouch. And here we have the rhinoceros. With a nice little full-size cleaning cloth. You get a T6, T8 combination Allen key, Torx key. So that's cool. And here it is. This variation that I got, I don't know why I said this so strangely. Promise you I'm American and not some weird foreigner. This is the natural micarta variation. There are 3 different variations. There is a all blacked out with blue accents for the pivot on both sides. That was definitely the one I was gonna get at first, but when I saw this one, I was like, you know what? With natural micarta, if I like the knife enough, I might end up dyeing it my teal color. I absolutely love the teal color. I mean, just within reach. I mean, it's ratty and dirty. I've had it for years, but JBL speaker teal, got it for like 80 bucks at Target when it went on sale years ago. I love that thing. I got a backpack, I got a freaking boogie board, I got a penny board, I got a bunch of other knives that are in teal. I got paper straws right here. I got some paper straws right here, they're teal and white. Can't go wrong with that. My favorite color, genuinely. So going back to the knife, yeah, that's nice, perfectly centered. There's also a green micarta variation, little hidden lanyard pin right there. Nice, not poking any holes into the handle, unnecessary holes. Nice recessed little space right there, cut out. It protrudes just a little bit. I hope the throw on the actual button isn't too light, but not too heavy either. And then some texturing. All right, let's get this thing open. Let's do the studs. Oh yeah, that feels good. And that button itself, it's pretty light. Honestly, it's pretty light. But let's see if I could just gravity flick it. Not happening. What is going on? All right, reverse flick, nice and clean. I like that for sure. All right, this is pretty good. I like how this thing feels. So yeah, it has some jimping right here for the front flip. Let's go ahead, try that. Okay, all right. Just gotta work around it. Just gotta hit it from the very last jimp. Honestly, not too comfortable, unfortunately. You can't even do the roll around because of the way that this is all shaped. And it looks like the studs would be external stops to aid with any side-to-side play, but they actually don't make any contact right there. So, that was definitely a design potential that was lost for sure. And texturing, but there's a little milled out space that you could get to it if you really needed to, or if you just don't want to be behind the stud. But studs are definitely the way to go on this thing. Front flip, yeah, that was honestly kind of a failure. You can do it, it's not, really wasn't meant for that. The way that everything else is shaped up here, it gets in the way, unfortunately. And this also being a button lock, people who are left-handed should very easily be able to operate it, but apparently, being left-handed is a sin, so there are no spaces there to accommodate an actual lefty clip, which is quite unfortunate. I don't know what it is. It's like Chinese OEMs are just allergic to lefty people. They don't do it. It doesn't cost anything to poke more holes. They'll do it with a lanyard hole that no one will ever use, but they won't do it for a pocket clip for more people to be able to enjoy the knife. So, but I do definitely like that it is inset into the actual scales themselves, and they're flat, which is cool. I like that. Keeps it very clean. I guess the slope down is very, very clean. I definitely enjoy that. You know what? This has a much more attractive clip and a much more functional clip than a knife that costs like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 times more. Recently got this guy. This is the TRM Neutron 2. Masterpiece of a knife. An absolute masterpiece of a knife. With basically a dually diesel truck just attached to it. This doesn't make sense. This makes a whole lot more sense. And you know what? It's a whole lot longer too, but I would take this over something like this. And this is bent tie. This is just some stamped bent steel. Even then, I would still take it over. So, but honestly, the stud action on this, it's clean. I really enjoy that. You know, they've definitely made a come around when it comes to the first interactions that you have with, a new model of theirs, because I've been checking out Remette from when they were QYGMGS. I probably have the most amount of content on this brand, and like they've come such a long way. This feels like something from Kaiser, maybe Kaiser from a couple years ago, which is still a huge compliment. It really is if you think about it. So Remette is a very small company. Kaiser it's in more people's mouths, that's for sure, within this hobby. But this feels like a Kaiser from just a couple years ago. And this is such a fast-growing hobby. I mean, eventually, these guys are probably going to start pumping out stuff that is, damn near close to maybe 2-3-year-old Wii Knife Co., which is, again, a high compliment that I believe one day they will earn for sure. But I like this. This feels absolutely wonderful. It really does. I don't really have any issue with it. It's not like typical button locks, and I have an example for you here. This is the not so perfect pyrite. What you have is immediate release once you can press that button, and it just drops down with 0 resistance, with so much force with its own weight that it even bounces while the button is still compressed, of course. This is a little bit different. You need to be a little bit more deliberate. If you do that, yeah, that's a thing. But if you just press it, it's like it holds, and then with the slightest little push, it's still really smooth. I have 0 complaints over that. That is very enjoyable. I like that. Quite satisfying. Honestly, to me, that feels a little bit more premium than that not so perfect pyrite. So there's that. We could do a couple little size comparisons, and you know what? We could test the edge and even get the weight on it. So I'm gonna do a couple not so typical size comparison knives, but I really enjoy the dimensions of this. I like this. I thought it was gonna be a little bit bigger, but I'm very happy that it is the size that it is. It feels quite compact and hand-feeling. Here we have the Civivi Vision FG. Definitely going to be a little bit longer, the blade, but not by much. So yeah, those guys. And while it's still out, we can do the Neutron 2, and because I was using it recently for some gardening tests, the Migron Moriaro. Such a weird name, but such an excellent knife for sure. So the Migron is larger, TRM is just a little bit stumpier, so there's that. Yeah, this is a really good size. I'm going to enjoy using this. What would have been pretty sick is if they actually did a drop point that was a little bit closer down, because then I could justify using it more. Because the tip, it's kind of up there. You can still get to it, but honestly, I'm probably gonna hit more belly but by the time I get to that tip. But this thing feels great in hand. It really does. It feels super premium. For the money, this feels like a whole lot of knife for the money. Let's get some paper. Let's check out that edge. Looks all right. Looks all right. A plunge grind over here. And not the best. If you keep the angle, you could probably get like 2, maybe 3 good sharpenings before you create a smile. Let's see where this thing stops. You know what? There's a stop pin right there. So technically, if you really wanted to, you can kind of clip that area and just, you know, make your own little sharpening tool if you really wanted to. That's a little excessive. I probably wouldn't do that, but you can if you want to. So there's that. Let's test out the factory edge. Closer up here, yeah, it feels good. It feels real good. Nothing pokey, nothing weird, nothing getting in the way. If I squeeze like an animal, I don't have enough strength in my index finger to actually decompress that button. I can't do it. So, oh yeah, that's good to go. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's check out the tip. Could just be a little bit more refined, but honestly, nothing that a strop won't take care of. And this is actually in 14C 28N blade material, which is pretty freaking awesome. I've been getting a lot of, I guess, budget knives that have this blade steel, and I'm falling in love with it all over again. I don't think this is going to be any different, really. So it is probably a little bit more robust than some of the other stuff that I've been checking out, but hey, why not? Yeah. Promise, just a couple little swipes on my NAFSCO leather strap with the green compound that it comes with, and this thing will probably be popping hairs. So there's that. Scale, where is it? Oh, here it is. I put it away from last time. All right. It doesn't weigh much. 3.6. All right, you know what? That's pretty darn sweet. I like it. I like it a lot. This is pretty nice. And you know what? The way that this is shaped, I just noticed this, putting my thumb on the spine of the blade, is kind of dipped down. There's no jimping on it, which is not that big of a deal. You do have it back here, which, yeah, it feels good, but you're not really going to be on that much. If you were like this, that feels good, but you know what? Right here, that feels pretty good too. It's almost like the tiniest micro harpoon. I like that. That feels pretty good. That's pretty sweet. I like that. All right, well, that's gonna be it. I honestly just tried to disengage using it like a liner lock. This is a button lock, Nathan. Come on, get yourself together. Some big pockets for weight relief. I like the way they think. That's cool. Nice and clean. I like it. I like it. All right, what is going on there? It looks like there's a little liner. What is that? I'll have to figure it out later when I do my own disassembly, but it looks like there's a liner in there. I don't know what that is because there's nothing else on this side. Huh. Whatever. I will figure it out later, and I will share with you guys my results within a couple weeks. If I love this thing, I highly recommend it, or I absolutely hate it. it could be all over the place. But for right now, this looks pretty nice. And the action right out of the box, I'm very happy with it. I really am. So this is definitely a surprise, because a lot of the stuff that's been coming from Remette sounds good on paper, it looks good, but the presentation usually ends up being with just a couple tiny little issues. So it's gonna be honestly a little difficult for me to find stuff to nitpick. The button, they've really dialed that down. That feels absolutely wonderful. Zero crunch, zero stick. Play up and down, nothing. Side to side, a little bit. I could probably just tighten that up, it'll be fine. Pivot, oh yeah, a little bit of movement in that pivot, but hey, this is a, I believe, sub $50 knife. I'm cool with that, that's fine. So if you guys like this unboxing, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. In the comments section, if you guys have this in your cart, have been procrastinating to buy it, just go ahead. It's honestly pretty sweet right out of the box. And with that being said, I definitely appreciate all your guys' patience. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much. If you are not subscribed, consider subscribing, because I have plenty more videos coming your guys' way. With that being said, have a wonderful rest of your day.